Tolbert. I'm here with Minority Whip Representative Eric Cantor. Representative Cantor, tell us why you're in town today.
Well, Jason, I'm here to help elect Tim Griffin to the 2nd District congressional seat, and he is a great candidate. He is a veteran, an American who understands what we're facing in this country right now. And in this country, Arkansas and the rest, we are at a crossroads. And we need some leadership that can return the agenda back to a common sense, conservative vision for America.
Well, tell me, what was it that caused you to be interested in this race? Obviously, there's a lot of races going on in the country right now. What was it about Arkansas's 2nd race that caused you to come into town?
Well, I think first of all, the races have a lot to do with the quality of the candidate. And Tim Griffin is one of the absolute best in terms of not only education, but capability, experience. He's a family man. He's someone who understands how to get things done. Again, he is, I know, the only veteran and as well an active reservist in the race. He's someone who I do think can reflect the Arkansas values when he goes up to Washington and never forget where he comes from. We got a lot of issues that are facing this country right now. Most importantly, it is apparent that the majority in Washington right now doesn't quite subscribe to the notion that we are a country whose government works for the people and not the other way around. And I know that Tim Griffin stands tall so far as the need for a limited government and the promotion of individual freedom.
Sure. Well, obviously, the Democratic Party is already putting a spin on your appearance here today. I think they sent out a press release today saying a D.C. insider is campaigning for another D.C. insider. What's your response to some of those charges that are out there?
Well, I think that they're always trying to engage in a little spin, but Tim Griffin is a native Arkansan. I think that when the voters of this district get to know Tim, they'll see there's no better Arkansan than Tim to represent their values in Washington.
Well, let's talk for just a second about some news that you've been in today or this week. Someone fired a bullet at your campaign headquarters. Tell me a little bit about what happened there and what your thoughts are on that whole event.
Well, listen, there has been a lot of, unfortunately, violence. There's been threats, real threats made against individuals throughout the debate around health care and others. And in my opinion, it's best to leave the investigation of those things to the law enforcement. That's where they belong. Some in Washington may try and use those incidences for political gain, and I just think that's inappropriate.
Well, I think you actually said this week that some of them are actually dangerously fanning the flames. Talk about what did you mean by that?
Well, there is, a consistent attempt by some, and in particular, the chairman of the Democrat National Committee, as well as the chairman of the Democratic Congressional Committee, to continue to point to individuals on our side of the aisle, the Republican side, saying that we are intentionally trying to fan the flames. But when you're in a position like I am and have actually received some very serious threats, no one would want to go and incite any violence to go and put themselves or their family at risk. So that is, again, that's nasty politics. It has no place. And I think the people of Arkansas and the people of the rest of America are sick and tired of that kind of politics. People are out of work right now. They want to see their economic future brightened. And that's the kind of thing that I think Tim Griffin and his campaign are focused on. Let's stop the expanse of Washington and have Washington telling you what to do at every turn. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're tightening the belt, that we do the kinds of things that working people across this state and others are doing every day, living within their means. And then by doing so, we can expand freedom. And that's really what I think Tim's message is going to be about this campaign.
Sure. Well, just last question for you, because I know you have a tight schedule. Obviously, healthcare, the debate over healthcare has just consumed Washington for the last few months. What's the next big issue, the next big battle that you see coming up in Congress?
Well, first of all, the issue of health care, we got to make sure that we're going to do everything we can to try and fix this bill, to repeal the bill and replace it with the kind of health care that people want in this country. People are going to see their premiums go up. People are going to see their taxes go up. People and seniors on Medicare are going to see their choices limited. And all the while, this administration, the majority in Congress, hasn't done anything about creating jobs. When we get back up to Washington, what they're talking about is passing a regulatory reform bill in the area of the banks and the financial services industry. Yet, I believe another attempt to try and expand the reach of Washington. They're going to create a permanent bailout fund to be there, and we already had enough bailouts in Washington. And so these are the kinds of things that we need your viewers, the folks who read your blog, Jason, to go and advocate against, and to stand up for the common sense conservative vision that we know our founders had in mind for America.
So you all heard it. Eric Cantor wants you to read my blog every day.
Listen, from what I can tell, Jason, you got the best blog in Arkansas.
Thank you. I appreciate it.